Well, hello there, and you are very welcome to this, your Sunday night with me, Odi Fitzgerald. On the show tonight, I'm going to be talking about the fires. Well, I can't not, they're a hot topic. And I'm going to be talking about the goals. Remember the goals that we set out earlier in the year? Well, we're going to be checking in on them. And here's one for you. Is your job dying out? Is your job a thing of the past? We're going to be having a little chat on that. I want to hear your thoughts today on the Common Sense Retirement Planning text line, which is 800 905 0989. Remember, 800 905 0989. You can also get me on the WORD talk line. Give me a call just before the breaks and I'll be able to answer the phone to you. 800 905 0989. Oh, hold on. Both of them numbers are exactly the same. See how easy that is for you? But first, I need to hang on. Just pop this one up here, stick that one there, press this button there, and let's have a little word from our fearless sponsor.
That was authorized under this legislation from 75% to 90%. We're increasing it to 100% of all the costs to be covered by the federal government for both the fire management assistance grants and the elements of what they call the disaster declaration. So today I'm announcing that the federal government will cover 100% of the cost for 180 days. This is going to pay for things like debris and hazard material removal, temporary shelters, first responders' salaries, and all necessary measures to protect life and property. And folks, I want to underscore, I told the governor and local officials, spare no expense to do what they need to do and contain these fires and in their communities that have really been devastating.
So first of all, Sleepy Joe not as coherent as he normally is, although he isn't really coherent at the best of times. But he's just, he got the point across. It was kind of like, well, I'm going to look after the people that voted for me in this year of the what do you mean I wasn't running for president? But no, I'm going to look after the people, and I'm going to give them 100% of all the ice cream that they need, and any money that they want, well, I'm going to give it to them, you see? And I'm going to fix everything up in the next 180 days. What did he, how much did he give to us here in the Carolinas, South Carolina, North Carolina, during the Hurricane Helene? I'm just going to give you a minute. Just think about that one for a second. $750. That's it. That's all that was given to the people here in the South Carolinas or in the Carolinas. But yet he's going to give 100% of what they lost in California. Now, do not get me wrong. I hate to hear about natural disasters because, yes, I know California is full to the brim of a very huge amount of extremely wealthy people. There is a lot of multi-million-dollar houses in California, in and around Hollywood, around the hills of Hollywood. But there's also normal people with $150,000 or $200,000 houses, $300,000 houses. Yes, I know they're expensive houses, but they've lost everything. They've lost absolutely everything. But why is it a case that people over on the West Coast are being looked after? Is it because, maybe they're all Democrats over there? That's a big kick in the face. Now, all I can say is, whoever you pray to, thank that God that nothing seriously happened to me and mine. I know there was power down, there was trees down, there was a lot of damage done, and unfortunately, a lot of people lost a lot of their loved ones during Hurricane Helene here in South Carolina and in North Carolina. North Carolina is still recovering. I know it was 4 or 5 months ago. They're still recovering. And it took a long time for Joe Biden to come down here to the Carolinas once it happened. And I don't mean this in a bad way. The fires are still happening over in California, and Sleepy Joe is over there. He's passing rules. He's passing judgment. He's saying, don't worry, people that voted for me. Is it a case that he's getting one last dig? He's getting one last shove. He's kicking us in the face one last time before he gets kicked out. I like to think that he doesn't even know that he's president anymore. And on the 21st of January, is he going to walk back in? Where's my office? I used to have a square office here. Oh, maybe. No, it's an oval office. Can we get ice cream? And it boils my blood to think that, number one, first of all, he doesn't know what he's talking about. He doesn't. And then to say to the people on the East Coast that were damaged so badly, like houses still have not been repaired. There's people still living in hotels, in emergency accommodation. There's people who may never go back to their houses. There's people who their houses, the government have said, oh, well, we could buy your property for you. And then you can start again with all this money that we're going to give you for buying your property. Seriously? But yet, on the other side, here's all the money you want. Oh, your house was $17 million. So it's going to cost that much to rebuild it. And you lost your Ferrari and you lost your Lamborghini and your Porsche 911 and you lost everything. Oh, don't worry. Don't worry. We're going to clean everything up for you and we're going to give you the money that you want for it. On the Common Sense Retirement Planning text line, 800-905-0989. Odi, there's only one more week to go. Sleepy Creepy will get on the Malarkey bus and disappear. Yes, he will. Odi, shout out to Kid Flaccid. Brandon doesn't know he's leaving office in 7 days, 16 hours and 52 minutes, which is about 50 minutes an hour, maybe 38 minutes or 48 minutes. He doesn't. I don't think he does. Remember, a couple of days ago, he said that if he was running against Donald Trump, that he would have won. He's funny. Listen, politicians, I've laughed at a few of them, but, nobody has ever made me laugh quite like Sleepy Joe. Some of the stuff he comes out with. I'm going to be talking a little bit about that, but what's happening over in the West Coast now? When we had a natural disaster here, I didn't hear of anybody looting. I didn't hear of anybody, impersonating, possibly firefighters. Yeah. A man dressed as a firefighter was arrested for burglarizing a home in Malibu area. Los Angeles County Sheriff Department Sheriff Robert Luna noticed the man who appeared to be dressed as a firefighter sitting down, and he approached him. The man was found impersonating a firefighter and was arrested for burglary. The county has a curfew in place from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. and certain evacuation areas. The suspect faces charges of curfew violations and impersonating a firefighter. Not to mention the fact that he was burglarizing houses. He was robbing stuff from... What kind of a lowlife do you need to be to do something like that? I mean, you're looking at people have evacuated, people have left their houses hoping that they're going to be safe, only for, I don't even know what to call him. I'm not going to call him an animal. I suppose a rogue. That's probably all I could call him, is a rogue. And he's burglarizing houses. Like, seriously, come on. It's just... When I come back, I'm going to be talking about what we've had to put up with here in the Carolinas with the snow. Did you have snow? And I'm going to be talking a little bit more about the wildfires happening over in Malibu. You're listening to News Talk 98.9 WORD. This is the voice of the Carolinas.
Streaming on the Odyssey app and live wherever you are. This is Sunday Nights with Odi Fitzgerald on News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas. Now, a can't-miss moment from the Charlie James Show.
So this guy, Sebastian Zapata, and here's the bad.
Hello,
Here's the really bad.
streamers.
He set this woman on fire, and he
Oh, look.
stood there with everybody else and watched her burn to death. And somebody
Harold, what we got,
videotaped.
buddy?
Instead of trying to help this woman, they watched her burn to death.
Don't miss the Charlie James Show. Weekdays 3 to 7 on News Talk 98.9.
WORD.
The voice of the
Are the
Carolinas.
insurance companies paying for it?
Now, the Carolinas' most trusted forecast from the News Talk 98.9 WORD Weather Center.
Sorry, I left the thing on. I don't know, Harold. Anyway, anybody watching on stream, this is a good friend of mine, Danny. Say hello, Danny. They can hear you.
Hello, Danny.
Danny is a leprechaun. See, he's dressed in green there.
Crossing the Atlantic, changed my shirt.
Yeah. The air bottom feeders. Oh yeah. So if you're joining in and you haven't been joined into the show before, the show is going out live, and the stream is live as well. So during the ad breaks, I like to talk on the stream and I keep the conversation going on the stream. I have a very good friend of mine, Danny, who's joined me in the studio tonight, and he will be answering questions. If you have any questions for the second Irishman, feel free to ask any questions you want. Any questions you want. You know, like, why does he look like Santa Claus? Join him. I know them all. I know them all. Harold, how are you being, buddy? You weren't here last week. Maybe you were, but you weren't talking last week, Harold. How's your new year going for you? That's loud. Why is that over there? Okay.
Sure, you know what you're doing.
Not even slightly. But it looks like I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's do radio. So the largest fires, several wildfires have been happening in Los Angeles, has grown to over 1,000 acres. It's been promoting evacuation orders of 319,000 people. One resident of Malibu is a guy called Clayton Colbert. He stayed behind to protect his home, and even though he was asked to leave, did he do the right thing? Protect his home with DIY water sprinkling system, the plumbing system. We've all got sprinklers in the house, and that's what he protected his home with. Despite he was exhausted and he had ash covered his eyes, finding it hard to see, his home remained standing. While his neighbor's houses were engulfed by the flames. Fires have raised the questions about LA's preparedness And the Los Angeles fire chief, Kirsten Crowley, has been citing budget cuts as the training and the disaster preparedness. It just wasn't there. And she has said it's not here, that they were let down because they weren't ready for it. Climate change, it's not climate change, has been an exacerbating factor in the fire conditions, with experts saying that there is nothing predicting and controlling the fire. And here's the thing, is that they could have stopped the fires because there's a lot of trees in the area. And this is what I've been told. Now, I'm not saying it is gospel. It's a little bit of research that I've done, is that there is there's little could have been done for the fire prevention because there's too many dried eucalyptus plants between all the houses. Now, remember, eucalyptus is an invasive plant. It was brought to America from Australian settlers. People from Australia came to America and they planted eucalyptus because they're really pretty trees. They're lovely looking. But the eucalyptus oils are flammable. So when a wildfire starts, if a wildfire happens, they can't control it. If you look at different parts of the country that are prepared for wildfires, they have something called a fire break. And a fire break is 50 meters or 50 yards of nothing. We have them here in South Carolina. You'll see the fire breaks. They're under power lines. Yes, I know they're clean. It's a clean cut area so that the power lines, guys can get into the power lines and work on them, but they're also a fire break. That if there's a fire, it stops because there's nothing for it to burn. There's grass, but grass is gonna smolder. They could put fire breaks in Hollywood. They can put fire breaks in LA, but the preparedness isn't there. And the fire chief even said it. The water wasn't there when they wanted it. The fire aircraft, they're having to use salt water now because they can't use the fresh water anymore because the reserves are gone. The thing about, yes, there is a lot of salt water. There's always salt water there. But when you put salt water on, you know what happens. If you have a tree stump and you want to get rid of it, you put salt onto it. Why? Because it kills it. And you know as well as I do, if you have dead wood, it's going to burn really well. It's going to burn nicely. So, okay, yes, you're putting out the fire, but you're killing the trees. You're killing some of the grass, and you're killing the bushes. And they're dry and they're ready to get engulfed again. On the Common Sense Retirement Planning text line, Odi, them looters are just bottom feeders. That's it. That's it. Somebody else, a complete change of topic, which is what I love. I love it here on Sunday nights with Odi Fitzgerald. Complete change of topic. Odi, tell me about the Second Amendment in Ireland. We don't have a Second Amendment in Ireland because we don't have amendments in Ireland. Also, do they have strip clubs in Ireland? I don't know. Listen, I've never been to one, so I couldn't tell you. Yes, they do. But no, we don't have amendments. There is no constitution in Ireland. We don't have amendments. There's nothing like that. We have laws in place, but there's no amendments in Ireland. It is extremely hard to get a firearm in Ireland. I've talked about it a few times. For when I was living in Ireland, I had a shotgun. And just to get a shotgun took about a year and a half of signing off lots of documentation, getting doctor's notes to state that I was, of sound mind and body. And I had to be part of a gun club because I didn't have any land. I didn't have enough land to be able to shoot. And I had to be part of a hunting club, a gun club, and my shotgun had to be kept in a locked safe with a trigger guard on it. And my ammunition had to be in a completely different safe. And you could only have about 100 rounds. That was it. You couldn't have more than that. If you were going to a competition, chances are you'd buy the ammunition there. Shotgun, yes. I know what you're thinking. How did you only have 100 rounds in your house? Chances are I didn't. Chances are I only had a box of cartridges. That's it. Whereas now, I mean, I'm not going to say how many cartridges I have, but it's a lot more than 100. Yeah. Odie, did you ever do the shooting competition with Bill Frady? No, we haven't done the shooting competition yet. We are still in negotiations with shooting clubs. Bill is, as you know, Bill is a member of a very good shooting club, and he's been talking to the guys there. We're going to get it set up. Now, we were talking about whether we would do it with using the same style of gun, and we're thinking about doing that. I asked Bill, would he do it with a 1911, and he said no, because I don't have one. I was like, okay. So we're talking about that, and it's going to happen. Don't worry, you'll hear about it on Bill's show. Tell you what, give Bill a text tomorrow, and just to remind him, I'll be chatting to him during the week. Just give him a little reminder, and just ask him when is the shooting competition happening with him and the absolutely amazing marksman that is the Irish Leprechaun. You know, I had to come over here all the way from Ireland to show Bill how to. Don't tell him I said that. Don't tell him I said that. Odie, if California would monetize the electric system and require property owners to landscape and minimize fire hazards, this wouldn't happen. 100%. 100%. You know, we have to look after. I'm not in a HOA or an HOA. Sorry, I'm not in a homeowners association, but I look after my property. Now my grass is a little bit longer than it should be. Now I just haven't had the free time to get out and do. I must cut my grass. I need to get out and cut the grass. But I just haven't had a chance. I haven't had a chance to get out there and do it. On the stream, hate to say it about California. Oh yeah, sorry. We are live on the stream, and I have a special guest in studio with me who's a little bit microphone shy, but he's here during the ad breaks, and you can have a chat with him. On the stream, you can get us on the News Talk 98.9 Facebook page. Harold said these houses are very expensive homes. You know that they are all insured and will be rebuilt with insurance money. So why would Sleepy Joe need to pay for anything? Well, the thing is, Harold, is I don't think they're all insurable, depending on where they are and the places that they. I don't think that they're able to do it. Ronald says, I hate to say it, for California is getting what they voted for. No, you're right. And they are. I mean, it's exactly what they were looking for. Odie, has Irish Dan ever drank cold Guinness in an Irish pub? Looking over at him now. Once or twice. Once or a few times he might have done it. Yeah, if you're looking here, Irish Danny is in the studio with me. Very good friend of mine. And he was at a loose end this evening. And I said, you want to come down to the station? He said, yeah, I do. So here we are. If you have any questions, if you have any other questions for Dan, I can pop his microphone open and he might have a little chat with you. He might have something to say. You never know. Now, how did you survive the cold weather? I know a lot of places closed down. A lot of factories were closed. And it wasn't fantastic. I was working from home on Friday, and I went to the store Friday morning before the snow happened. And would you believe I got bread and milk? And there was a lot of bread and milk there. So all of you stereotype people out there with your big stereotype heads, there was milk out there and there was bread out there. So we were able to get it. And I got a few necessities that I needed for food because I didn't know how long I was going to be in the house. I didn't know how long we were going to be stuck there. I didn't know what was happening. So, I made provisions and yeah, it was fine and it was grand. And we got a bit of snow and, I took some really nice pictures and I put them up on the Facebook and sent photographs back to people in Ireland that said, look, we finally got snow. And they said, oh, wow, snow. We've had that for about 4 weeks. But no, it was nice. It was nice. I enjoyed it. And I know it causes a little bit of chaos sometimes and a little bit of strain and a little bit of stress for people, but I enjoyed it. When I come back, what was Obama saying to Donald that the two of them were laughing about? You're listening to News Talk 98.9 WRD. It is the voice of the Carolinas. A little bit early.
A little bit.
What have we got on the stream? So obviously somebody on the text line there saw you on the.
Oh yeah. Do I start signing autographs now?
You can start signing autographs now.
Start signing autographs. Santa Claus, the Irish Santa Claus.
Confirmation hearings this week for President-elect Trump's cabinet picks, including Pete Hegseth, nominated for defense secretary.
That's it. First half of the first hour done. Easy.
And you get paid to do this?
I get paid to do this.
Man, this is terrible. Maybe that's what I need to look for.
Start working here with me. So, hello, streamers. What is happening? What is going on? We're just having a nice evening, myself and Irish Danny, because I know another Danny. Actually, knew a couple of Dannys. But yeah, Irish Danny's here.
One Irish Dan.
Well, you're Daniel, though.
I'm actually Thomas Daniel.
What?
Yeah. On my birth cert is Thomas Daniel.
How did I not know that?
Because I don't know. I've only known you for what, 5-6 years?
Try 7, going on 8.
Shoot.
Yeah.
Okay.
On the 20th of February, I will be in the Americas for 7 full years. That's scary. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. 7 years. No. 7 years. 7 full years. Going into year number 8.
I won't tell you how long I've been
26 years.
here. 27.
Danny may be Irish, but he's a real American. Like he's real American. He's got the paperwork and everything to prove it. I'm a baby American. Nearly there, not quite.
You're a toddler.
Toddler.
Started walking.
Why is that one? I was stationed at the FT Hunter Leggett. Fort Hunter Leggett.
Leggett, California.
And firing ranges and tanks always had grass fires, but we didn't have big fires because it couldn't accumulate. There you go. That's what happens.
I'd love to be able to fire a tank.
Huh?
I'd love to be able to go fire a tank.
Anybody got a tank out there?
You can do that in
Yeah, but we can ask people and they might invite us down. Anybody want to invite us down to fire a tank? We'll fire tanks. I have no problem in firing a tank. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about when I come back. Takes a minute for the text to catch up because remember we're on an 8-second. You on the stream are getting it live and dangerous. Whatever is said is said. It's out there. There's no delay, but there's a slight little delay on air.
They don't trust us.
They do. Trust me anyway. Sometimes.
I said us.
Well. Creedence or David Bowie?
David Bowie.
Okay.
Old David Bowie.
Yeah, it is. Let's do radio in 50 seconds time.
A lot can happen in 50 seconds.
That's the thing. People say that 40 seconds or 30 seconds is a long time. But when you start working in radio, it is not a long time. And then they say that 1 second or 2 seconds is not a long time. But when you start working radio, 1 second and 2 seconds is a long, long time. Hate to say it, but because 1 second of dead air is a long time.
You don't want dead air.
No. Okay, let's do radio. You can see what I'm looking at the countdown here, can't you? So what was Obama? Remember that guy? Obama, president for a while. What was himself and the Donald having the laughs about? I was just kind of like, yeah, they were being very friendly with each other. Maybe Barack was saying, "Oh, could have been on the other team," and that was terrible. That was a terrible Barack Obama impression. That's almost as bad as my Donny impression. DJ Donny, have I done the DJ Donny? Well, welcome to China. This is DJ Donny coming to you live from New Talk 99 in China. Yes. Look at before you even start texting about how terrible my DJ Donny impression is. We know it's terrible. Texter on the Common Sense Retirement Planning text line says that maybe they were laughing at Camilla thinking that she could have won. That's the thing. That's the thing. Like, so President-elect Donald Trump, he has been on his Twitter account. I think it was Twitter or Facebook, one of his accounts. What does it say here? President-elect Donald Trump trolled the political adversaries by posting a spoof of his conversation with former President Barack Obama on his Truth Social account. He said the former president telling Trump, "I knew you'd win, Donnie." And here's the thing. That was at Jimmy Carter's funeral. Jimmy Carter, as you know, passed away there not too long ago. The funeral was a couple of days back. Here's the thing, is that were you watching it? Did you get a little look? Did you have a little look at the well, it's all over Facebook. It's all over all the social medias. It looked like, first of all, it looked like Barack and Donald were having a civilized conversation, which they seemed to be. And then there was a few giggles and there was a few laughing. And I know some people have hit back and saying, at somebody's funeral is not the time to laugh and joke. But here's the thing, and I think Irish people look at funerals and we look at death in a completely different way from our American cousins, is that at funerals, we try our best to make each other laugh. I'm sorry, but we do. We really do try to make each other laugh because we want to remember the person that has passed, and we want to remember them in a very fond way. And we don't want to remember, like before my grandfather passed, he was very sick. And I never want to remember him like that. I remember going to see him the day before he died, and he wasn't able to talk really, and he was struggling. He was dying, so he was struggling a lot. And my uncle, he was with me. It was a hard time for me, very emotional time, and my uncle helped me out a lot with that. And I don't want to remember my grandfather that way. I want to remember him when he spent an hour looking for his glasses around the house, blaming absolutely everybody in the house, like blamed us all. And because he was getting ready to go out, he was going somewhere. He blamed one of my uncles. Then he started blaming all the grandkids. We all happened to be there, and he was a small man. Grandfather was about 5'2", 5'3", and we're all in it. Like myself and my uncles, we're all about 6 foot. So he was pointing up at us, and in his strongest Limerick accent, which I won't do because I hate to say it, but you won't understand it. He was giving out, and he was like, and there was expletives. There was expletives, and he was looking for his glasses. He couldn't find his glasses. Now, he had his flat cap on his head. But see, what Grandad used to do was he used to put his glasses inside his flat cap when he came in from outside. So he just popped his flat cap straight onto his head with his glasses inside it. And he walked around for a good solid hour telling us all that we were horrible people for hiding his glasses. And when he took off his hat, he looked at his glasses and he just looked at us all. Who put them there? Who put the glasses there? And that's what we were giggling. We were laughing at stuff like that. And that's what President-elect Trump and former President Obama were chatting about. They were chatting about fun stuff. They were being giddy with each other. And the thing is, have you ever noticed when you're in church, and maybe you have, maybe you haven't, but when you've been in church, if something funny happens, okay, just go back to your childhood, or a wedding, or even a funeral, anything that you've been in church for. And if somebody does something funny, so I'm just remembering something now, you're going to laugh, and you're going to do the quiet laugh where the only thing that's moving in your body, your head is bowed a little bit and your shoulders are shaking, right? One instance of that was I was at a funeral many, many years ago, and it was a friend of mine. His father had passed away, and we got out of school. We went from school to the church, and we were at the church ceremony. And there was a woman, an elderly woman. There was an elderly woman, and when she was walking up, this was Catholic church. She was walking up to receive the Eucharist. She she tripped, and she just went meh. Involuntary med, a kind of a noise like a sheep. And the smart guy sitting beside me was like, "Was that the Lamb of God?" And we all just lost it. There was about 35 or 40 prepubescent teens sitting in the pews in the Catholic church laughing because unfortunately an elderly woman, she didn't fall. No, she didn't fall. She didn't get hurt, but she made a funny noise and we were all trying to be somber. That didn't happen. So much to the fact that the priest had to turn around and tell us to stop. But and I think that's what happened. I think that's what happened is that President Trump and former President Obama were just giggling about stuff. They're just laughing about stuff. But how could they not giggle? When Kamala walked in, she had a face in her like a bulldog eating a nettle or a thistle, or she had the angriest face. Yes, I said you can use that. A bulldog eating a nettle or a bulldog chewing a wasp. She just looked. She was the angriest person ever. And then of course Bill and what's her name? Bill too, or Hillary. What is it? Hillary? Yeah, can't remember. She's out of the news long enough now. And they walked in as if they were trying to be somber, but they were just being angry looking. They just had the angry face on, and I was, what's going on here? But maybe former President Obama is kind of like, well, he's not in the race anymore. He's not really doing a whole lot. He's up in Martha's Vineyard in his multi-million-dollar house, and he's kicking back. He's having a bit of fun, and Donald was with him, and they were having the chats, and they were having fun, and they were talking about it, and maybe Obama's thinking that he looks better in red than he does in blue. I'm just putting it out there. I'm just putting it out there, just for the masses. But have you actually? There we go. On the Common Sense Retirement Planning text line, 800-905-0989. Have you ever been in a situation where in your heart of hearts that you should not be laughing? Like when you were in prison, when you were in trouble in school, you may have been in prison, but when you were in trouble in school, whether you were getting detention or you were getting a suspension or something was happening, has there been a time where you knew you couldn't laugh? You could have been in church as a kid. You could have been in church as an adult. And something just made you giggle. And as soon as one person starts, everybody starts. Let me know. Let me know your fun stories, because there's a lot of doom and gloom is happening in the world at the minute. And yes, there's the wildfires are happening over in LA. And my heart really does go out to the people that, like, people have lost everything. Now, not the people that like the rich film stars, that's their second or third house or fourth house. They haven't lost everything. I mean, chances are they've no keepsakes in some of the houses there. They're just, it's a second house. Some of them mightn't even know that their house is gone. But my heart goes out to the people, the hardworking people that are out in LA, and they've lost everything. They have lost everything. And they're going to have to rebuild. They're going to have to rebuild everything. I mean, there's stuff in my house. There's items in my house that can never be replaced. I have my grandfather's watches in my house, and it's in my safe. But if that goes, I can never replace it, ever replace it. So yes, my heart goes out to that. But just if you've something humorous that has happened in your life, just share it with us all, because sometimes we need a little bit of a giggle. You're listening to News Talk 98.9 WORD. It is the voice of the Carolinas. Hi, Odi Fitzgerald here. Now, do you love bourbon and do you like a little bit of bacon? Well, on the 17th of January should prove to be a very special evening over at Judson Mill, downtown Greenville. Yeah, it's the Bourbon and Bacon Fest. It's going to be an evening of sampling bourbons and whiskies from local, not to mention new and well known distilleries. It's going to be amazing. There's going to be delectable porky treats as far as the eye can see. Now, I do like me a little bit of pork every now and again. Yes, I do. I have been known to cook up a bit of sometimes I'll have a little bit of bacon on the grill. Well, I'm going to be there in over at Judson Mill in downtown Greenville. I'm going to be there on the 17th, and there's going to be plenty of sweet treats, and there's going to be cigars. There's going to be a VIP area, and of course the bourbon and the bacon. And don't forget, if you're not big into bourbon, there is tickets available for designated drivers. So if you want to get your ticket, go on to bourbonandbaconfest.com, bourbonandbaconfest.com. Secure your tickets now. I'll be down there, be sampling a lot of the bacon. So I will see you on January 17th at Judson Mill, downtown Greenville for bourbonandbacon.com. They're always very strange for me, the live reads, because we never did them in Ireland. It was like, no, never. But I enjoy them. I enjoy doing them.
Do they get thrown your way, or is it?
Yep, they're on my.
No, but do they come in specifically for your show, or?
We're doing it. It's ours.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So everybody does a few of them.
Yeah.
So I just have, I don't know if I have one or two to do.
I can do the bourbon.
I'll Coca-Cola.
Flat Coke looks a bit like a Jim Beam and Coke.
Sometimes. Oh, do I have?
You stopped drinking before you came over here, though. Didn't you?
No, stop when I got here. Yeah. Um. I need more water and I have nothing. Oh well, be alright. I'm good. From the Jolly James Show. Huh. So before the break, we were talking about inappropriate times to laugh. We've all done it. We've all laughed at those very inappropriate times. Text her to the Common Sense Retirement Planning text line 800-905-0989. Odie, we laughed at my dad's funeral. Oh, I'm going to giggle with this one. We laughed at my dad's funeral when one of the nuns doing a stupid guitar mass tripped on a microphone cord and fell because she decided to back up to her chair instead of turning around, and also could see that she was walking. Unfortunately, not all of our relatives understood our laughter. I'm sorry, I think it's funny. It's a thing as well. Like when people see you giggling at a funeral and they don't know why you're laughing, and then you get that, that look of shame that you get. Is like, why are you laughing? You're not supposed to be laughing. Odie, the day before my husband died, but the day before he died, my husband said that he needed to burn Nancy Pelosi at the stake. While we were making arrangements at the funeral, we all laughed about it. Here's the question. Oh, I don't know if I should. No, I'm going to ask this one because was he? What are the arrangements? Was he cremated? I'm just going to ask: is that what was in his brain when he was saying that Nancy should be burned at the stake? Look at. I'm just throwing it out there. It's something. Just something out. Just something out there. Now, how involved in social media are you? Yes, I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Twitter. I'm not on Twitch, and I'm going to hang. I'm going to hang my head. No, not in shame, but I'm on TikTok. I am. I'm on the TikToks. I have a TikTok account. I couldn't tell you it if I tried to, but I have one, and I'm actually I'm happy. I'm happy that TikTok is about to get banned. We are what 5-6 days away from it, and it's about to get banned. It's about to die. And what's going to happen? Well, it's not what you think is going to happen. So on the 19th, TikTok is about to be banned, and what's going to happen? People are saying, "Oh, is my phone just going to kick it off?" No, it's not. It will stay on your phone. You won't be able to update, which means that there will probably be a new update. Your phone is constantly updating all of the apps, whether you know it or not. And that's something that the government is worried about. And that's something that we should all be a little bit worried about. And yes, we know that our phones listen to us. We know that our phones are always listening. They're always listening to everything that we do, everything that we say. Myself, I have a buddy in the studio here with me tonight, and we were talking about Desert Eagle 0.50s before the show. It's just what we happen to talk about. Two of us shoot IDPA. And all of a sudden my phone brings up, "Oh, hey, Odi, we noticed that you like Desert Eagle 0.50s." I'm like, "Well, yes, I do, but I'm not going to buy one, not yet." So your phones listen to you; they listen to everything you do, and you're giving them information, and you inadvertently, or maybe you know about it, you have given TikTok the means to look through your contacts. It looks at everything that you do. It knows everything you do. It creates algorithms. So TikTok is looking at everything that we do, and it knows where you are. It knows your location. And yeah, I know people are saying, "But I can turn off the location. I can do all of that." It doesn't care. And I think that it's going to be a good thing that it's banned. And one of the reasons that I think it's a good thing is that nobody on TikTok, well, I won't say nobody. There is a few people who do original content. I do original content. I don't replicate anybody else's ideas, and I don't replicate anybody else's videos. I do my own videos. I make my own videos, and I'm happier for it. But what about the people who are making between $1,000 and $12,000 a month? People are making on TikTok. People are making $12,000 a month. Can you believe that? And how are they doing it? Well, they're making videos. They're influencers. Now, I know what you're saying. Influencers, are they not a thing of the past? Unfortunately, they're not. And see, the thing is with the influencers is that a lot of people say, "Oh, no, I'd never be influenced. I'd never be influenced to do something like that." But you can be. One person was talking to, I'm not sure who they were talking to, and they said, "This is my 9-to-5 job." Nader, that's apparently their real name, who said that he makes between $1,000 and $12,000 a month on as a creator. "This is what I do to make a living. This is how I pay for my groceries. This is how millions of small businesses make their money." There's a lot of other ways to do it. There's a lot of other ways to do it. You can make money in many, many other ways. And maybe Like, and I'm not giving out because I work in media, and a lot of people have said, the job that I do is like, you have fun when you're working. Yes, I do. I have fun every single day. Every single day I walk into the studio, I have fun. I love doing what I'm doing. But I'm not repeating somebody else's stories. I've said it many times. I have in front of me, I've got loads of screens, and one screen in particular, it has the bullet points for what I'm going to talk about. Sometimes I will look at quotes and I will read off quotes, and I will say, this comes from whoever it is, like this Nader guy. And I don't pass it off as my own stuff, because I make my own opinions and I give you my own opinions. And I think that's something that we need to get back at. There's a lot of people out there who are very highly involved in creating movies and creating films, short films, and their lives they've nearly stopped because people are saying that I can make that myself. Have you looked? Like, some creators on TikTok are very good. Some creators on TikTok put a lot of effort into it, and some don't. The editing is terrible, but there is people out there that do that, and there is jobs on the line because of TikTok. But yes, so how are you going to feel when TikTok disappears and is gone? Odie can't stand it. There you go. That's one thing. Odie, I heard Kevin O'Leary was buying TikTok. Kevin O'Leary. How do I know Kevin O'Leary? I'm not too sure about. Is it Michael O'Leary you're talking about? He's an Irish guy. Um, you know, I don't know. I don't know. Let's see what's on the stream. Remember, you can catch us live on the stream. We are streaming live on the WORD 98.9 Facebook page. You can catch us on there. Yes, I do have another fellow leprechaun in studio with me. You can see him there. Looks kind of like Santa Claus. So you can check us out on there if you haven't checked it out already. But yeah, I want to hear your thoughts. Let me know how you feel about TikTok going. Do you think that it's a good thing? One of the reasons I think it's a good thing, and I've talked about it, is that sometimes when I pay a visit to the smallest room in the house, I may spend an extra 20 minutes in there because I'm on TikTok and I'm just scrolling through, death scrolling. You're just scrolling through. You're not even paying attention to what you're looking at. You're like, haha, that's funny, or you're not, and you're communicating with your friends through TikTok. You're just sending them, oh, look at this video I found. It's funny. Ha 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 ha. But it's not. It's not. So I, for one, when TikTok is banned, when it's gone, when it's over, when it's done with, I'm not going to be looking for the next big thing. I'm not because I even watch some of the live stuff on TikTok. There is TikTok lives, and there is no entertainment value in it. There's nothing. There's no entertainment value in it whatsoever. There's people just sitting there and going, oh, hey, you're welcome to my live, and this is what's happening. This is what I'm talking about. Oh, look, John has just entered the chat. No, I don't know. I don't want anything like that. It's not good for you. So let me know. Common Sense Retirement Planning text line 800-905-0989. When I come back, I'm going to be talking about something, well, it's just a little bit out there. It's an email that was sent in to me about OnlyFans. Yes, OnlyFans. You're listening to News Talk 98.9 WRD, the voice of the Carolinas. Sorry, we were rocking out to a bit of Fleetwood Mac there. You weren't. You can pop them off. We're going to be off for air for about 5 minutes. And that is 1 hour done.
First hour.
Yeah.
There's like 100-mile-an-hour winds out there.
Are they?
Yeah. No. That's what's fueling a lot of it.
That's not good.
No.
It's Kevin O'Leary.
Yeah, that name came up too. I'm like, that sounds familiar.
He's Canadian, eh?
Oh. Our Canadian or real Canadian?
No, Canadian.
That's where we saw the bulk of the fire activity. The fire making a run for the neighborhood.
Make TikTok wonderful again. Kevin O'Leary explains how he plans to save the social. I'm going to have to talk about that when I come back. Mr. Wonderful. Mr. Wonderful. Kevin O'Leary is partnering up with another investor in bid to save TikTok in hopes that China and the Supreme Court will allow them to make it wonderful again. It's terrible. Oh, he's a Shark Tank. Oh, that's who he is.
That's
I'm going to talk about that. I shall chat about that when I come back. I want to see them bringing it back. If they're going to bring it back, that people cannot replicate somebody else's stuff.
But how are you going to scrutinize that? How are you going to?
Don't let them use audio. That's what it is.
Yeah.
They're using audio from somebody else, not to let them use it.
Or they have to pay the copyright. If they
Yeah.
use it.
You can use it, but you've got to pay somebody else the copyright.
But I thought you can't do that. I thought you had to do that with copyright anyway.
So
Even
you can pay money to be on TikTok, right?
Yeah.
You can pay money. And then money goes to creators if they get a certain amount, because it's all about ads. It's all about advertisement and product placement. And they're always trying to get you to buy stuff and sell stuff to you. And it's just like, yeah. Let me read this. The signing into law, President Biden passed Congress in April. Bipartisan approval.
Swipe right.
Yeah, so I will chat about that when we come back.
President Biden spoke today with Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu. They discussed
Benjamin Netanyahu.
for a ceasefire and hostage release deal based
Little Ben.
on the May 2024 arrangement.
Oh, little Benny, huh?
White House said the president stressed the immediate need for a ceasefire.
Break my can, done my clothes.
Gas prices remain stagnant over the last 3 weeks. Oil industry analyst Toby Lundberg, publisher of the Lundberg survey, says
Yeah, they're in around 270, 265,
Yeah,
270.
265 is more than
They haven't moved. On the stream, has your gas prices moved much in the last 3 or 4 weeks?
California's probably 4.
Philadelphia 317, Los Angeles 435.
435.
Oil prices rose 17 cents over the same time period, which could lead to a bit of an increase at the pump in the near future.
But how much of that is taxes?
Ah, 35% of it.
Yeah.
The drivers exempt free access to some rides. The giveaway is good for 6 rides, each worth a maximum of $20. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer expressing concern about the rising cost of eggs. The senator says the programs that contain bird flu must be maintained.
When you do slashing across the board, it hurts out.
Are they going to try and bring bird flu back into the country again?
They've already got a vaccine for it.
Yeah, but why is it when Donald is in, they're like, oh, let's mess everything up for him?
The South is slowly thawing. Warmer weather is melting snow and ice as crews restore power to parts of North
But
and
see,
South
that's the
Carolina.
huge thing on the
10,000
wick.
customers lost electricity
Yeah.
Bread and milk and
days.
eggs.
Atlanta
Yeah.
airport officials say all
That's what they're
runways are now
targeting.
operational.
It is.
Kathleen Maloney, this is Fox News.
Ding, 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 ding.
Now, the Carolinas' most trusted forecast from the News Talk 98.9 WORD Weather Center. Mainly cloudy skies expected tonight with a low of 25. Winds out of the southwest around
It's a little
5
bit
miles
cold.
per hour.
Are you cold?
Cloudy skies.
No, 25
Oh.
is a bit cold. I used to think 25 was beautiful, but I was saying.
Yeah, but we were acclimatized to it now.
Right now, 35.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same
Don't need that one. I am going to talk about that one. I don't need that one.
New customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code SECOND FREE by January 26th. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Oh, I got radio to do.
Oh, radio.
And you're very welcome back to Sunday Nights with me, Odi Fitzgerald. How's your Sunday night going for you? Yes, work in the morning. Are you going to get an early night? I want to hear your thoughts. You can get me on the Common Sense Retirement Planning text line, 800-905-0989. You can also give me a call if you want to talk to Odi. Call me on that exact same number, the WORD talk line. It is 800-905-0989. I will get to your calls as soon as I get a chance. Now, earlier on the show, we were chatting about the wildfires and the fact that people are starting to loot these houses. Remember, a lot of these houses, just the houses themselves, are well into the couple of $1 million, and people are looting them. Don't do that. Don't do that. Look, I know you can hear you can listen to us on the Odyssey app all across the great nation of the United States. You can hear us everywhere. You can check us out on the app. We are live on Facebook also, and my own Facebook and the WRD Facebook page. If you're in LA, don't be a bottom feeder. Do not go and try and loot somebody's house. That's just scum of the earth territory. No, stop it. Don't do it. Because there is reports of people starting to loot, and the fires. They reckon that the fires, they're nowhere near getting put out. The winds are picking up, and the winds are just fueling it. They're just pushing the fires along, and the firefighters. My heart really goes out to not just the firefighters in LA, but firefighters in general. You do an absolutely fantastic job, and I really want to commend everything you do. But the firefighters in LA, they're having to put up with a lot. They're having to do an awful lot. They're working long hours. Along with the aircraft, the fire fighting aircraft that are going, they're just not stopping. They're just keeping going, stop to refuel, and go again. They just pick up more water, go again. So everybody, the National Guard, the police departments, sheriff's departments, highway patrols, everybody in California, and the firefighters, doctors, nurses looking after everybody, our thoughts and prayers are going out to you, and we hope that everything gets better. Now, I was also talking about TikTok and the fact that it is getting, it's going to have to hang up its boots on the 19th. A texter texted into me and said that Kevin O'Leary is thinking about buying it. Well, I looked it up, and yes, Mr. Wonderful Kevin O'Leary is partnering up with another investor to save TikTok, and hopes that the Chinese and the Supreme Court will allow them to make it wonderful again. Get your own tagline, Kevin. You'll know Kevin from Shark Tank. He's teaming up with another Project Liberty founder, Frank McCourt. I know Frank McCourt once, to purchase platform for the US assets. I was thinking about it. If they do buy it, and if they do manage to save TikTok, which at this stage, I'm like, they should make it that you should not be allowed to copy somebody else's music, their work. It shouldn't be lip syncing. It should just be original content. Let me know your thoughts. Get down the text line 800-905-0989. Was that my number? No, yeah, sorry. I gave my own number out once by mistake. I did do it. 800-905-0989. Now, yes. Hold on. Just hang on there for a second. Just hold on to yourself, and just going to just pop this one. Just let me take this one out of here, and I'll just get this one here, and I'll just pop this in here, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to talk about OnlyFans. Oh, yeah. Well, you know what OnlyFans is. Yeah, I reckon it's late enough. It's 10 after 9. We can talk about it. But I'm not going to talk about it in the way you're going to talk about it, in the way you think I'm going to talk about it. No. Don't get your hopes up too much. I had an email sent in to me a while ago, and it was from a parent, and she said, Odie, I'm not too sure what to do, and I'd like your listeners to help me out on this one. And this sometime in the new year, the child of this emailer, I'm going to call this emailer Mary, okay, and her child wanted to stay in another child's house. Now I'm going to call the other child's mother. I'm going to call her uh, Emma. I'm just going to throw it out there. So Emma has been known to create content on OnlyFans. Now, if you're not sure what OnlyFans is, it is a website for men and women to, get money from the general public that are signed up to OnlyFans to make explicit content. I'm just going. We're all adults here. They make explicit content. They made adult content. Okay, and this lady Emma, she makes adult content, and her daughter. Remember, these are not the real names. Her daughter has asked Mary's daughter to come and stay in the house for a sleepover. And my question to you is that Mary sent me in a message, and she wants to know: should she let her daughter have a sleepover in a house where adult content has been created? Let me know your thoughts. Common Sense Retirement Planning, 800 905 0989. Would you let one of your kids stay in somebody's house when you know that something like that has happened? I personally myself, no, I'm not going to tell you what I would do, because I will tell you eventually. But I want to hear your thoughts. Would you let your kids stay in a house like that? Now, as far as I'm aware, none of the content would be happening once the kids were having a sleepover. But not only the fact that it's a house where this kind of content has been created, would you let your kid sleep over in somebody else's house, or would you let somebody else's kid sleep in your house and sleepover? I remember back in the day when I was a young guy, it was nothing. It was a thing of nothing. You were in your mate's house, and you might stay there for you might head over in the morning time during the summer, and you'd be playing all day, and at the end of the day you'd be like, your friend's parents will say, do you want to go home or do you want to stay here? Like, oh, I stay here. So, and a quick phone call would be made back to your parents' house, and that was it. And it was fine, and everything was grand, and you'd watch movies, you didn't watch DVDs because there was none, and you'd have fun. But does that happen anymore? Do kids have sleepovers? Do parents want sleepovers? Because if a kid stays in your house, if a kid comes to stay in your house and something happens, I hate to say it, but the world has gone. The world has gone a little bit crazy. I mean, you're liable for that kid. If you have somebody else's child staying in your house, even if it is one of your relatives, even if it is somebody that is your nephew, your niece. If your nephew or niece comes and stays in your house and they fall and they get hurt or they break their arm, or kids break things. I mean, I'm sitting here with multiple past fractures in my entire body because, well, I was a kid. I was a little ruffian, and I broke collarbones and arms and legs and ribs and cracked my skull and done all that kind of stuff. I've been in the hospital many times. And there's lots of kids out there like that. And as some kids are just prone to getting hurt. Some kids aren't. Some kids will just bounce. They do. But would you let the original question was, would you let your kids sleep in a house or stay in a house where adult content has been made? Common Sense Retirement Planning text line 800 905 0989. Only if I had a kid, I wouldn't let him, her, anybody sleep at an OnlyFans house. No, you're dead right. I wouldn't either. Another texter, no. Straight as that, just no, not happening. So yeah, I want to know. Let me know. I'm curious. And would you let your kids have a normal sleepover? When I come back, I'm going to be chatting about skills that have they come to the end of their line? Jobs that you just don't see anymore. You're listening to News Talk 98.9 WRD. It is the voice of the Carolinas. Oh, what happened there? Hmm.
It's also different if you have a boy or a girl.
Still won't let them.
Still won't let 'em.
Yeah, no.
To some people that does.
It does.
Mainly cloudy skies expected tonight with a low of 25. Winds out of the southwest around 5 miles per hour. Partly cloudy skies tomorrow. Highs level out around 49. Meteorologist Jennifer Gucci speaking of the News Talk 98.9 WORD Weather Center. Right now, 35.
The election is over and a new pro-business administration is about to begin. At Switch Funding, we're ready to help America's small businesses thrive in 25. Whether it's for cash flow, expansion,
Ding, ding. I don't know why that started up, but it did.
$25,000 up to $2 million. You could get a decision in minutes and cash in your account in as little as
Music played that it's not that I didn't want it to play, it's just it shouldn't have. It's like, okay, why is that playing?
Too many buttons.
Too many buttons. Lots of buttons.
Personal information is another person's treasure.
Exactly. That's why I use NordVPN every time I surf the web. Features like Threat Protection Pro safeguard devices from phishing websites and disable intrusive ads and trackers. Just check NordVPN.com, grab the deal, and see for yourself. NordVPN. Cybersecurity built for every day.
And now, you can't miss moments.
Johnny James Show.
1,000% on AR-15 or anything they determine to be a quote-unquote assault weapon. That means if you went down to wherever you buy your firearm and you bought a firearm that was $500, the tax on that firearm would be $5,000. So total, you would be paying $5,500 for that $500 firearm. Representative Don Bayer.
Parents are more paranoid now anyway about sleepovers. Very, very few.
Bayer and 37 Democrats opposed the same idea last year when the Democrats controlled the House, but it didn't move. His bill from last year imposed a tax on any magazine or related device that can accept more than 10 rounds of ammunition. That's the one that they're going to try to go to.
Weekdays 3 to 7 on News Talk 98.9.
I moted you for that.
Attention, terrorists. Hold on. Here's terrorist
Headline, UK Daily Mail said
Dee,
Donald
dee,
Trump
dee, dee.
said he would lose 75% of his patients if people made 2 lifestyle changes. Cardiovascular exercise.
Yep.
5 times a week. That is
It's overrated.
and shown it outperforms antidepressants. And he said behavior therapy is crucial to
I feel amazing since we started doing that again. Yeah. Really do. Like, if sleeping better, you know, and it's only been a week. I'm going to be talking about that in a couple of minutes anyway.
Yeah, I need to start. I've just started walking up and down to the range. That hill there just kills.
That'll kill you.
It kills coming up. Thank God that the things are lighter coming back up than they are going
True.
down.
You don't have to walk uphill both ways.
Yeah. Twice on Sunday.
If that's something you suffer from, yeah, move.
terrorists. Squatted. Hear the terror show. Weekday mornings on News Talk 98.9. The voice of the Carolinas. Text or call. One number does it all.
800-905.
Would you let your kids sleep in a house where you know OnlyFans content has been created? Odi, no, I would not. Definitely not. Odi, if I had a kid, I wouldn't let him sleep. No, wouldn't let it happen. Odi, yes. Yes, I would. Odi, I would, as long as there was no suspicion of the parents being involved in any sexual activity. And yes, it is no different from letting your kids sleep in a house of a Hollywood celebrity who has been part of an R-rated movie scene. I can see where you're coming from on that. No, but I don't think I would. I don't think I would. But then again, as I said as well, is would you let your kids sleep over? End of story. Full stop. It doesn't matter if it's your friend's house because of the liabilities and the fact that it doesn't matter how well you know somebody. Well, you never know. I mean, they could be looking to take you to the cleaners, and not in that sense. Speaking of the cleaners, I was in need of in need of cleaners a while ago, and I was in need of a cobbler. I have a pair of cowboy boots, and I want to get the soles resoled. And I found it very hard. I found it extremely hard to get a good cobbler, to find someone to resole my boots. If you know of anybody, you can text in 800-905-0989. But yeah, and then it got me thinking: is there a lot of different jobs that were out there that are no longer there? You know, jobs that people don't have to do anymore, people that it's not called for anymore. Text in, let me know, 800-905-0989, if there's a job that you used to do and that it's just not there anymore. A couple that are here is data entry and processing. You don't see that anymore. I mean, it's all done by engineers can do it. We can, you know, you do it on your Excel sheet. It's not that hard to do, data entering and pre-processing. It was a fundamental part of the technology center for many years. Here's one: telemarketers. I wish they would all, disappear completely. It's a job that may fade in the next 5 or 10 years. You know, when you get the guys calling you and they're asking about your Medicaid, Medicare, and they say that their name is Dave or they say their name is John, but they're calling from Mumbai or they're calling from anywhere, but they're not calling from America. They're not. And you can tell that is not their voice. They're trying to get, I found out that they're trying to get your social security number. Don't give it to them. Don't give anybody your social security number over the phone. Retail cashiers. They reckon that is a job that's going to fade in the next 5 years. I do not want to see that disappearing, because I don't know about you, but I do not like going to Walmart or to Ingles or to any of the stores and checking out my own stuff. Now, yes, there is some days where, it's not that I don't want to talk to people, because if you ever see me out in the street, come up, have the conversations, have the chats, take the selfies. I don't mind. I'll have a conversation with you. But there's just some days where you just, you're not 100% willing to people. The days I'm talking about. Maybe you had a bad day at work, or maybe your wife was giving out to you, or your husband, or, just things haven't been going, and you just don't want to talk to people, and you just want to go use the checkout, and even the noise is too loud, unregistered item in the bagging area. When it says that to you, it's like, oh, I just don't want to. But yeah, no, I don't want to see that happen. I don't want to see that go completely. Bank tellers. Yes, we've all seen that. The banks want you to do your own banking. They're starting to get rid of tellers. And here's a big one. And let me know, as I said, if there's any jobs that you used to do, that you were employed in, then, what is the job still there? Sorry, so a text came in and I was like, it distracted me a little bit there. Here's the big one: travel agents. When is the last time you used a travel agent? When is the last time you had to call up or go into a travel agent and say, I would like to take a trip to here? Like, for argument's sake, if I was going to Ireland, I mean, I wouldn't go to a travel agent and say, I'd like to take a trip to Dublin. I want to fly out on this day. I want to return this day, and I need to get a car when I'm there. You just go onto Google. You type in flights to Dublin from wherever, and you do everything online. You take out your credit card, you put in the numbers, bada bing, bada boom, done. You're on your next flight. Print media operators. Now, as you know, print media is starting to die. I don't want to see it die, because, back in the day, and yeah, I know I'm saying back in the day a lot, because there was a lot of back in the days. Back in the day, everybody read the newspaper. And sometimes the newspaper, if you left it down, don't leave it down in a radio station, because it just disappears. All of them disappeared because everybody wanted to read the news or do the crosswords, or, there's a lot of stuff that happens with newspapers. But media print it's dying. They have their tablets, they have their phones. I've got computer screens all over me here, and I can get all the media on that I need. I honestly can't remember the last time I bought a paper. And do you remember when something happened? If you won a title, or if you won something, or if you won a competition, your face was in the newspaper, and it was like, oh, look at me, I'm in the newspaper. And that even happened to me a couple of months back, where my local paper back in Ireland, it was saying Irish radio presenter is making it big in America. And this is me here making it big in America. Yeah, no, me in America, making it big, as I think. Postal service, they're slowing down because you've got UPSs and you've got other ways of getting your stuff out. Telephone operators. When was the last time you called the operator? Did you have to? Or switchboard operators. When was the last time that ever happened? Word processors and typists. I mean, there's been lots of jobs. There's lots of jobs that people used to do a lot, but nobody needs a typist anymore. I mean, you just type out your own stuff, and you've got a word processing system, even though we don't call it a word processing, we just call it Word. And when you're typing, it tells you when you've made a mistake, because the little red line, I'm just looking up at my notes here, and there's red lines everywhere because I can't spell, apparently. But there's lots of jobs. And here's one that you didn't think of: tobacco manufacturing. Because we're all getting a little bit healthier, and nobody really wants to smoke anymore. Well, maybe they do, maybe they don't. Odie, Odie, my wife had my wife had an OnlyFans account for many years. Should I tell her? I don't know what you're going to tell her. Odie, a milkman here. I worked for United Dairies. Are milkmen a thing of the past? Is it a thing? I don't know. I don't know, because I mean, I go to the store and buy my milk. I didn't even know that milkmen were available here. I didn't know if it was a thing anymore. What else have we got on the stream? Let me check on the stream. Yeah, a few different jobs. Now, I've mentioned a lot of those already. And it's just there's a lot of professions dying out, you know, and who's going to replace them? I mean, is it a thing that we're replacing in them ourselves? Nobody else wants to do the work. I don't know. I'm just kind of curious about that. Let me know. Text in. Let me know what your thoughts are on that. And as I said, if you know a cobbler, oh, I tell you what I am going to say. Oh, there's a bank courier. Yeah, bank couriers. That's something that never would have happened in a long time. Here's one, and this is a little bit not selfish, but it's for me. As you all know, I ride a motorcycle, a BMW motorcycle. I'm looking for someone that can repair it properly, repair it good, not just, it'll be okay. Yeah, I know there is a BMW dealership and not too far from here, but just putting it out there. Now, here's something that caught my eye earlier on today, is that there's going to be free Uber rides from the 10th of January for teens who fail the driving test, so they can just get free rides on their Uber account for a limited time. Getting your driver's license can be a difficult process. Yes, it can, but it's not that difficult. It's not. No, it's not. The driver, I've talked about it. Now, yeah, when you look at some of the drivers on the roads, particularly on I-85, I'm not going to talk about I-85 again, because, listen, I've been doing good and my blood pressure has been staying quite low. I never had a problem with blood pressure, but whenever I talk about I-85, it goes up a little bit. Do you think kids should be getting free Uber rides? Remember when you were a kid, your parents said to you, never, ever, ever, ever get into a taxi with a stranger, or a car with a stranger. Now we're giving kids, young people, free rides and Ubers. Another thing that was said to you is never talk to anybody on the internet. You can talk to me on the stream, the Newstalk 98.9 WORD Facebook page. We are live on the stream. And yes, you will see somebody else in the studio with me, a very good friend of mine from Ireland. He decided he wanted to come down and see what this radio stuff was all about. So I said, well, come on, in you pop. Let's have a little bit of fun. And here he is. He's here. When I come back, I'm going to give you an update. Odie's been good. Odie's behaved himself. YMCA time. Newstalk 98.9 WORD. It is the voice of the Carolinas. That sounded amazing. Sometimes
you get into a rhythm with it.
On the stream, you didn't hear that because I can't play that music out on the stream because it's copyrighted music and I can only play it on the air. But if you were listening on the air, you would have heard it on the air.
Or if you're doing both.
Or if you're doing both. Sometimes people do that. If you're on the stream, are you on the air as well? You're listening to it on the radio.
Has reached 24. It's expected to rise. Senate confirmation hearings for President-elect Trump's cabinet picks begin this week.
I met with just about all of them. I support every one of these nominees.
I know any death is terrible, but some of those were looters.
I don't want to see them die, though.
No, I don't.
I want to see them
I've got
caught.
mixed.
I want to see.
I've got mixed.
Yeah.
I'm kind of Darwin. I'm kind of the Darwin. If you're going to do something stupid and you get caught,
You face the consequences. Yeah. No, I don't want to see them getting hurt. I just want to see them getting put to jail or
the extent of the law.
doing time. You know, like community service.
You have to do
Build up the country
build a
again.
house.
Yeah, build
You
a
have to
house.
go build a house.
Build a house on your own. No.
Or you have to sign up for when they a bit like the. Yeah, because they closed down a couple of the banks down around the corner from Oregon too.
Miss a lot. Stay up to the minutes. People recommend sentence of unconditional discharge. News Talk 98.9. In a political recheck and respect to damage my reputation. News Talk 98.9. Place at the Carolinas.
How are you feeling about your retirement future in these uncertain times? Is the alarming news of geopolitical events and inflation keeping you up?
Yeah, there's a big hole. Did you fall, Elizabeth? Elizabeth, did you fall into the hole? Did you? You did, didn't you? That ended up. Down in a hole.
Start singing it.
I like to cry.
Studio is darker than I thought it would be.
I just had the lights turned on.
I know, but in general, I always thought it was going to be a lot brighter. Or is that just your preference?
I don't like having lights on. I don't have because I have enough light coming from all of these. Sometimes I'll turn the lights off. Yeah. No, studios are dark enough, I suppose. Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba.
Before his injury, John Bennett was a career soldier. While serving in Iraq, he was shot by a sniper, stepped out, turned back towards.
Elizabeth, did you fall into the hole?
Senior National Service Officer Michael Keller. I helped him fill out the form. I hand carried the forms over to the VA and walked him through the system.
You're just trying to survive, and they help you along the way.
Very nice to see when your work pays off and you're very successful in it, because you can see the change in that veteran.
Him starting a taxidermy business is accomplishing something every day.
I'm glad to be back to work.
To learn more about Paralyzed Veterans of America, visit VBA.org. A public service of paralyzed veterans.
I'd like to do something with them.
And now, a can't miss moment from the Charlie James Show.
I've done some with the
Wounded Warriors or something like that. Or, yeah.
Corner County. It is very
Rewarding.
It's rewarding, but it's also eye-opening.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? When you start talking, particularly when you start talking to the guys. You know,
Yeah.
It is.
And you're very welcome back. Sunday Nights with Odi. I'm getting a few of your your humorous stories coming in from, I've talked about it earlier on. We were talking about funerals, and you have to keep a certain decorum when you're working at a funeral, or if you're at a funeral, or if you're going to someone's funeral. Elizabeth was on the stream telling us a little bit about when she was a pallbearer for the armed forces, and she didn't realize that there was a big hole underneath the fake grass and underneath the the plywood that was there. She didn't tell us what happened, but I think I know what happened. Anyway, it is time for me to play this music. Yeah, you know it. You know it. I decided that early in the year I wasn't going to make a resolution. I was going to make goals, and I was going to behave myself when it came to eating bad food and chocolate. Chocolate. And I messed up a little bit today. I went for food with a friend of mine before, Danny here. He's in the studio with me. Went for food before we came on air, and I got a Dr. Pepper. I know, but it just slipped my mind. Listen, we can have little slippages every now and again. But I'm going to give you an update. Yes, I am. I'm in the YMCA up in Foothills in Seneca. I go up there most nights in the week. I take a rest day on Wednesday. But I was up there, and when I was up there last week on Monday, I walked into the dressing rooms, and there was a young man there, an extremely fit young man. He had muscles on muscles. This guy, he was ripped. I didn't get his name, but you know what he said to me? He said he was proud of me because I was actually, putting in the effort and trying, and trying to get my weight back down, trying to get back healthy again. So I don't know, because I was in that stage, when you've done a workout and you just want to keel over. I was in that stage. So to that young gentleman, thank you very much for your words of encouragement. And I have a bit of breath about me now, so I can actually talk to you. But yeah, thank you for your words of encouragement. But here's the thing. So I have a week. Well, I'm over a week now, a week and a half now. But when I started, and I told people I was going to do this, and I told people I was going to, go along the journey. When I start, I won't tell you the weight I was. But if you're on the same journey as I am, you can text me in Common Sense Retirement Planning text line 800 905 0989. If you're on the same journey, if you're proud of I'm proud of what you're doing. Even if you're just doing something one day a week, I'm proud that you're actually doing it, because there's a lot of people out there who aren't. There's a lot of people who aren't doing it. Danny here said he's starting to walk a little bit now as well, and he's getting on the wagon, and that's what we're going to do. People have been asking what I've been doing. Well, I've tried my best to cut out as much extra sugar as possible. Okay. I'm trying to eat less carbs, and I'm cutting everything down as best I can. Yes, I know I had a pizza for dinner tonight, but it's a Sunday, so I've been cutting down snacks, and I've been cutting down. I haven't been snacking, I haven't been eating chocolate, I haven't been eating that like that, and I've been trying my best. I've been doing pretty good. I walk, I don't run, I walk, and I swim. I do a lot of swimming. I used to swim a lot, so swimming wasn't too hard for me to get back into. And I'm doing just about a kilometer when I'm swimming, which is about just over 40 lengths of the pool. And so I've been doing that, and I've been using the weight machines, and I'm getting there. So when I weighed in the very first day I got to the YMCA just over a week ago, I weighed in at 258 pounds, 258.9 pounds. So I was 0.1 of a pound away from 259 pounds. When I weighed in this week, the last day I was there, it was Thursday night, late Thursday night, done a double workout because it was closed on Friday. I weighed in at 253 pounds and 7.7. So I think it's 7 ounces, 6 ounces, or whatever it is. So that means I lost well over 4 pounds. And yes, before you say anything to me, people are going to say, well, that's only because you started. It is. It is. Your body, when you first start to lose weight, your body drops the pounds really, really fast. You start to your metabolism starts to go up, your body starts to lose weight quickly. And I'll tell you one thing. I will tell you one thing. As I'm sitting here, I feel better in my body. I do. I feel healthier, and I feel I have a little bit more energy about me, and I have a little bit more pep in my step, and I don't feel as kind of I don't have the word for it, but it's kind of like "Ugh." I just don't feel like that anymore. It's kind of, and as everything progresses, that's going to progress even more, and hopefully I'll get down to the target weight I want. And remember, you know, this is for you as well. If I can do it, because when it comes to work ethic, I wouldn't be lazy at all. But when it comes to getting home in the evening time, and you know, it is so, so easy to get home from work and to come in and say hello to your spouse and your children, and then to sit down on the chair. You know, we all have them. We all have the recliners. It's very easy to kick back and just do nothing. It's extremely easy for it, but don't do it. When you get home, I know you're tired. I know you're tired. When you get home from work, you're tired. I get it. I understand it. We all are. When I get home from work here tonight, I am going to be hyper for about 45 minutes. And then all of a sudden, I'm going to hit a wall and just be, you know, that's it. Good night. End of story. But don't. I'm not telling you how to run your life. I'm not telling you how to do anything, but there is a way to do things. There's a way to get out there. You can join any gym you want. You can get in touch with any fitness health expert. You can get in touch with dietitians. There's ways out. There's ways to get you back into shape. When I came to America, I was 187 pounds, and not anymore. Not more than that. On the text line, Odie, you were giving me hope, bro. Thank you. You can do this, texter. This is something that is easy to no, it's not easy to do. And that's the thing, because if it was easy to do, everybody would be doing it, but you can do it. You can 100% do it, because I have all the faith in the world that you can do it, because I can do it. If I'm able to do it, you can definitely do it, because as I said, when it comes to work and work ethic, you know, I do my work and I do the work as hard as I can. I give 110%, if not more. Same here at the radio station. I give 110, 115%, apart from when I noob myself, which has happened. And I try my best. But when I get home in the evening times, and, you know, it's just a case of, you know, so it is easy to do. It is definitely easy to do. I'm just after getting in a message about a shoe repair. So I'm going to read that in a couple of minutes. Odie, I drove a taxi for 35 years. Seems like I might be going extinct as well. That comes in from Tracy and Wearshows. Oh, yeah. I think taxis, unfortunately, I think Ubers are taking over, are they? Let me know a little bit more, Tracy, if you think that Ubers are taking over a little bit more. Anyway, when I come back, after I just go over here and just pop this in there. See, I played too many music bits and I've no music in the thing, so I can just pop that music in there. And yes, I know, I do the background stuff. I've told you that before. Odie does the background chats. Let you know what he's doing. When I come back, I'm going to be having a little bit of a chat about what not to do in California with your cats. It's a strange story. You're listening to News Talk 98.9 WRD. It is the voice of the Carolinas. I like that song. Odie, there's an alteration in shoe repair in the centre behind Grady's in Anderson, run by an all Ukrainian couple. Also, Anderson shoe repair, but he takes longer.
I think I've seen that Ukrainian.
I'm going to go down there tomorrow.
Yeah, it's in the back what used to be the Social Security office.
Oh, okay.
I think that's either in that building or the next one over from it. I thought it said. I thought you said something like alteration or altercation. There was an altercation.
There is an altercation and shoe repair.
There was an altercation with the shoe.
So I think always on our toes, but relax.
Okay.
So there's a lot of back and forth.
A lot of people watching.
So how many people are influenced by your marriage?
Hundreds.
Yeah.
I think we could easily fill a football stadium with all the people that we've influenced. And you really think about the ripple effect. One influences the next, and the next, and the next. It's like a wave.
So it looks like
Have I got a half conversation?
Good marriage goes a long way.
Want to improve your marriage? For ideas, go to foryourmarriage.org. A message from the Catholic Church.
Oh yeah.
Don't comment on it. Don't comment on it.
She had been the Attorney General, chief prosecutor of California, right? She went on some hip hop radio show and she's like, yeah, man, I use pot. When they asked her, well, the problem with that ding dong is that you sent thousands of people to prison for pot possession and dealing. And when she said that, she remembered she sent like a rock in the Democrat primary. So you Democrats held Kamala to account, didn't you? Hold Joe to the same standard, which is it? Oh, I'm a Democrat, I'm a royalty, so I get to send other people's kids. Kids of color,
I'm a one-way motorway.
makes them get high on crack and traffic Russian and Ukrainian prostitutes into the country.
What are you talking about crack? So we're having the crack tonight.
What more would you be doing?
I tried to explain that to Lonzo and Cameron last night about what having the crack was, and it just went. They were like, "What kind of crack? Who's crack? What crack?
Is it a butt crack?
Butt crack."
I tried having that conversation as well at the youth center last week.
Yeah.
And
We're having the crack here.
what
crack are we having?
Are you on drugs or?
Yeah.
Like, no.
No.
It's not. It's like
You know when you-
slang for.
You know the first time you come to America, business or pleasure? Oh, sure, I'm just going to be having the crack. Sir, cannot do the crack here in America.
Go to the left lane. The cavity search.
Cavity search.
And 4.
Shall we do the last bit of radio?
Sure, why not?
Sure, why not?
We got nothing else to do. We're sitting here.
Gonna have to do this, like
Yeah.
So Tracy was back on to me from Ware Shoals, and she says, "Sorry, Odi, what I have to say about Uber might not be suitable for the area." I get that. I get that. But seriously, Uber is more expensive and less dependable. Hail a cab, and that comes in from Tracy P in Ware Shoals. Ware Shoals. I'm sorry. I've heard that before. I've heard that a taxi cab is more dependable and not as expensive. Now, I don't know. The whole Uber thing to me has always gone over my head. I'm just, maybe, you know what? Maybe next week I'll do a show all about Ubers, because I don't get it. Why would you want somebody, a complete stranger, getting into your car? It's your car. It's your personal car. Why would you want that to happen? I don't know. Get me on the Common Sense Retirement Planning text line 800-905-0989. I'm going to say that again because some people say I said it a little bit too fast. It is 800-905-0989. And that is the number you can get for calls and texts throughout the week here on all of the shows. Starts off on Joey's show tomorrow morning and Tara's show at 6 o'clock. And we go to Mike is on at 12. Bill Frady is on after that. And then Charlie wraps up the entertainment. Well, he doesn't know because there's a show's on. I can't remember the show that comes on after Charlie. But Charlie is in here from 3 o'clock. My good friend Charlie James. Charlie actually made some Irish soda bread. Charlie, if you're listening, buddy, if you happen to be there, you have an in-house Irish bread. Now I know your good wife spent a bit of time in Ireland, but you do have another in-house. When I say in-house, in studio Irish bread taster. Just throwing it out there. Now, sad news. I need to report it. There was tragedy on Lake Hartwell yesterday. There was a lady lost her life. There was a fishing tournament was taking place, and unfortunately, due to the inclement weather, there was heavy winds, and the boat was overcome by the waves. Not that it was massive waves, but big enough waves for a smaller vessel. There was a tournament happening on the lake, and there was quite a few boats on the lake. There was 4 people in the boat. There was 2 men, a child, 7-year-old child, and a lady who lost her life. Just remember, if you were going out, and if you were on the lake, please. The lake is cold. The lake is very, very cold. It doesn't take a long time to develop hypothermia in the lake at this time of year. So if you're going out in the lake, please just put on your life jacket. Leave your life jacket on you. What the cold water can do is it'll put you into shock. If you hit the cold water straight away, if you walk into the cold water, your body gets a little bit of time to get used to it. Do not. If you're not used to swimming in cold water, do not go near the water. It's very cold. But if you fall into the lake, you can get hypothermic shock, and you could, unfortunately, like the lady lost her life yesterday. So our thoughts and prayers from everybody here at News Talk 98.9 go out to her family at this very trying time. On the text line, said, Odi, I will see you'll become a great radio personality. My young Padawan. That comes in from Tracy again. Thanks, Tracy. I appreciate that. Now, how much would you pay for your animals? Yes, I know your animals are part of your family. I know. 100% agree, because I had 2 dogs. I have 1 dog left now. I have Finn. He's my border collie. And I had Duke up until October, and Duke was 11. An absolutely fantastic dog. I've talked about him many times, and everybody knows how great Duke was. He was a German Shepherd, a long-haired German Shepherd. And I brought him over from Ireland with me, and, he was a great dog. And he was never really sick. He never had anything really wrong with him. He'd been to the vet a few times, and he got his shots and whatever needed to be gotten. But when it came for his time, he was 11 and brought him to the vet. The vet was saying to me, there's 2 ways we can go down. We can try and prolong his life a little bit. He was just old. His bones were, as German Shepherds do, unfortunately, is they develop problems with their hips. They get hip dysplasia, and it makes them very hard for them to walk. And and I was looking at it, and he was old. He was losing a lot of weight. He couldn't keep weight on. And the vet said, we've 2 options. We can prolong his life, or we can, cross the bridge. And every time we can cross the bridge. And I said, he's been a great dog. He's been a great companion to me. And I think he's done what he needed to do. So, cross the bridge. But a man in California, I know. I'm not going to pick on them too much, because they're going through a lot at the minute. But a California man's 2 cats died after drinking raw milk that had been recalled for bird flu risk. Now, the first thing that I'm thinking here is, do you notice that there's another risk? I'm just putting this out there. Remember the last time we had a risk? We had, Donald was in power, and all of a sudden coronavirus was a big deal, and it was blown out of proportion. People have said now that it was blown way out of proportion, and now the Donald is coming back into power again, and now they're saying that the bird flu is kicking. Is it just me? Am I not going to say anything, not going to bring it to light. But anyway, as I said, a California man, his 2 cats, unfortunately, now look, my feeling toward cats. I love pets, but my feeling towards cats, you don't own cats, cats own you. One of the cats was hospitalized with the H5N1 virus, which is the bird flu. The cats drank unpasteurized milk from a recalled batch, causing the deaths despite being kept indoors and eating conventional pet food. The owner, who had been drinking the milk himself, so why didn't he get the virus? That is curious to me. He spent well over $12,000 treating the cats and seeking compensation from the dairy owner. Health officials have warned against consuming raw milk due to the risk of infection with bird flu and other. But here's the thing. What in the name of all that is up and down, inside and out, has bird flu got to do with a cow? Tell me about that now. Just sit right back and hear a tale. I want to know. It's called the bird flu. Okay, it's an avian flu. The last time I checked, cows were bovines. Yes, I know their farts are causing global warming, and we can't do anything about that. Cow farts are just. And have you smelled a cow fart? Have you? It's. But yeah, no, you So now, cow farts are causing bird flu. Doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, this is a mixed up world that we're living in, but cows are causing bird flu. Would that not be bovine flu? You know, I'm just sitting here thinking about it. Odie, look up toxoplasmosis. I know what toxoplasmosis is. Yeah, it's a terrible thing. Odie, I don't give my cats any kind of milk because of the lactose. There you go. Cats do like milk, though. But here's the thing. We've been warned from day one that you do not drink raw milk because there's lots of enzymes and there's lots of stuff in the raw milk, unpasteurized milk that hasn't gone through the processes of making it semi-safe for human consumption. Because yes, they do say that humans are not really supposed to drink milk because our bodies, the enzymes in our bodies can't digest it fully. I'm not that kind of doctor. Not that kind of doctor. But here's the thing: would you spend $12,000 on keeping your cats alive? So $6,000 per cat. Would you spend it? I have had animals that I've had to spend a bit of money on. Fortunately enough, I've never had to spend that kind of money on animals. If it was a human, there's a big debate. Love my dogs. Finn is all I have left, but it's just something. Odie on the text line, it says, Odie, no, it isn't just you. How do cows catch bird flu? Even if a dairy farmer had the flu, how did he pass it on to a cow? You see, now, there's the thing, is that it's conspiracy theorists come out from the woodwork. Come on out. I have a seat here for you in the studio. You can get in contact with me, 800-905-0989. I want to hear what you have to say about it, because look at cows. Have you ever heard the song Cows with Guns? Look it up. There's a song out there called Cows with Guns. It even has chickens and choppers. Yes, you need to look it up. It's a great song from the 90s. Look up Cows with Guns. Go on to after the show. Show's finished up in a minute. Go and look up Cows with Guns. Odie, have you ever smelled a cat fart? No. Raw milk saves children food, including, I think, illegal in most states, including GA. I think it's illegal here as well in South Carolina. So, don't drink milk. Listen, love the taste of milk. Absolutely love it. Dairy farmers do not get paid enough for what they do. I love the taste of milk. But the raw stuff, unless you are drinking it fresh from the cow, and I'm not telling you to do that because I'm just not. But how that is it. How do you get avian flu from a cow? If you're a cat or a human or anything, the H5N1 virus. I'm going to be in the studio for a few minutes, so you can keep the text coming in, or you can give me a call if you want on 800-905-0989. I'll be back next Saturday night with Lonzo and the crew. We've had an amazing night here. We always have a bit of fun. If there's any topic that you want me to talk about, get in touch. I'm always open for it. I will talk to you next Saturday and next Sunday for Sunday Nights with Odi Fitzgerald. You're listening to Newstalk 98.9 WRD, the voice of the Carolinas. Slán Awalya. Bye. And that's it.
I was going to say it is legal in South Carolina.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Because I know a couple people in Fairplay that do it.
Oh. I have tasted it.
I used to do it all the time. Neighbor used to do it.
Southern California, Ontario, Albinger, Fox News. The LA County Medical Examiner says the death toll from the wildfires is at least 24.
Is legal in South Carolina. Oh, yeah. Okay, streamers. Trey. What do you say, Trey? Do we leave milk and cookies out for the Irish Danny? Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Leave Pepto out as well. We do. We do all that kind of stuff. Trey's a good guy. Trey's with ice. Look, we're off the air. Whiskey or Guinness or whatever, Anyway,
bourbon
Bourbon and bacon.
Bourbon and bacon.
Bourbon and bacon.
That's a good combination.
I'm going to be at the Bourbon and Bacon next Friday night, so make sure you head on down. Anyway, say goodbye, Danny.
Goodbye, Danny.
And I will talk to you next week. Slán Bye.